Museveni kuwa marafiki ya hawa wangwana wote, lakini akiwa naibu wa rais inaleta shida.
Political commentators have queried the DP's regular trips to Uganda, with the latest incident appearing to provide fodder for those opposed to his political ambitions. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Still staying with that particular aborted trip, the Orange Democratic Movement Party wants the Deputy President William Ruto to come clear over his relationship with Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni and an alleged Turkish investor. The leaders are questioning what they claim is DP's frequent trips to Uganda instead of building the Kenyan economy.
The leadership of the Orange Democratic Movement in Parliament claims the Deputy President William Ruto aborted trip to Uganda was a sympathy-seeking circus. Speaking at Parliament buildings, the ODM MPs claimed they were suspicious of the DP's relationship with Uganda.
We want to ask him to share with Kenyans what ideals he is borrowing from NRM, the National Resistance Movement.
We are not bothered with whether Ruto was cleared or not. We are bothered with his relationship with Uganda, and we are bothered with what he's going to do in Uganda.
They further challenged Ruto to explain his relationship with Uganda's ruling party, National Resistance Movement, and reason of taking foreign investors to a neighboring country.
And he has been telling us that bottom up. I want to bring bottom up here. I want to bring investors here. I want to do youth employment. I want to alleviate problems of the youth, and you are taking the investors who are supposed to employ Kenyans here to Uganda.
If you are the deputy president of a country, how on earth would you claim to be taking investors to another nation, to another state? That is completely a sign of lack of patriotism.
However, Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi, who was to join the DP in the trip, said that the mission was for benchmarking.
Tumeenda benchmarking kwa chama Museveni kama mara 3. Na kuna kazi tunaendelesha huko. Sisi tunataka tujenge chama kama ile ilikuwa ya Jubilee, lakini kwa style zingine tofauti.
Saa hizi wanasema ati mimi kufaa yellow I'm associated with the flag of Uganda, or UDA is associated with the flag of Uganda.
This was a private visit to Uganda, and I want to believe that the Deputy President was not using resources from the government. He was using his own personal resources.
Sudi defended Harun Aydin, the Turkish investor branded a terrorist, saying he is an investor who has interest in the horticulture industry.
Wao ni wanabiashara wakubwa wa kubadilisha mambo kama maneno ya avocado na hizi vitu zingine zote mnaona tunajaribu kubadilisha.
Suleiman Yeri, Prime Edition.
All right, now to some COVID news. And the Council of Governors are accusing the control of budget of blocking funds to counties, warning that it would deal a big blow to the war against the COVID-19 pandemic. The council says it was unfortunate that counties were being denied funds due to the pending audit queries, yet they are expected to lead the war against the pandemic. Based on the current state of COVID-19, the council says it might be forced to scale down on the number of delegates who will attend the Devolution conference, slated from the 23rd to 26th of this month in Makueni. Ruth Wamboi has that report.
The Council of Governors is now warning that counties are cash-strapped and might not be able to address the dire COVID-19 situation facing the country.
There is an increased pressure from emerging variants, such as the Delta variant and others, that are proving to be more transmissible and violent. These variants have contributed significantly to the surge of infection rates noted in Western Kenya region. However, the region has been overtaken by the following 6 counties, which have reported the higher number of infections.
The council directing blame on the controller of budget. It claims has blocked the release of funds by Treasury due to pending audit queries. It says that was beyond its limit.
It is important for the Office of the Controller to recognize that approval on requisition of funds is based on County Government's Appropriations Act, and the oversight role is purely the mandate of the county assemblies and the Senate.
The county bosses warning that they are not only dealing with the pandemic, but a resurgence of patients with mental health illnesses due to stress and anxiety associated with the impact of COVID-19.
The most prominent manifestations is the rise of suicide cases. This has increased from 317 cases recorded annually in the past years to over 417 recorded this year, an increase of 100 cases.
Coupled with the pandemic, the council says some ASAL counties are being threatened with drought taking on a toll on livelihoods that require urgent interventions. As the number of COVID-19 cases continue surging in the country, the Council of Governors said they are considering to reduce the number of attendees to the Devolution conference from 5,000 to 3,000. For Prime Edition, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
Thank you, Ruth Wamboi, for that report. Of course, we still have more lined up for you coming up in just a bit. We are going to be taking a very short break, but remember, right in this particular broadcast, a very important conversation also coming up.
We'll be talking about philanthropy, and we're talking about the needy in these times when education is very expensive. And we'll be talking to Bernard Wandera, who is from the Cheryl's Children's Home, so don't go too far. We're coming back after the short break.
The global spending on research and development reached an all-time high of $1.7 trillion in the year 2020. And 10 countries account for 80% of this budget. And Kenya is not a member of this elite club.
We are training our people, we are guiding our people so that they don't only depend on buying what is coming from abroad, but developing their own and also competing with the chance that they are, and they'll reach there.
This week on Inside Government, our focus is on R&D, the hit and the misses, and of course, the lessons learned, right here on KBC Channel 1.
Get the VIP access to the best shows on KBC Channel 1. We have something different, something special to spice you up. Get ready for new, exciting and captivating dramas. Movies.
Love the smell.
Comedy.
I went to the Popos. Huh?
Drama.
Did he assault the Queen in my house, in my presence?
News, sports, and so much more. Do the things that make you happy on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now we focus on two matters. Crime. A family in Embu County is seeking answers following the mysterious death of two brothers who were allegedly arrested by police for violating the curfew rules.
Benson Jiro, aged 22, and Emmanuel Mutura, aged 19, are students at Don Bosco Technical Institute and Moi Kabrak University, respectively, and were arrested by police officers from Manyata on Sunday for flouting COVID-19 protocols, only for their bodies to be found at Embu Level 5 Hospital mortuary.
In another development, police are investigating an incident in which a 42-year-old man allegedly killed his wife before turning the gun on himself at their home in Kiambu County.
At the Embu North Police Station, the pain on their faces tells it all. Young soul's life cut short. Benson Njiru, a 22-year-old, and Emmanuel Mutura, 19-year-old, are no more. Felix Viga Ango to the deceased say that the two were selling pigs meat at Kianjakoma Trading Center when they were arrested. The mystery surrounding their death still unanswered. The family claims police took them in circles before they were informed that police in Runyenjes had collected 2 bodies which were at Embu Level 5 Hostel mortuary.
Parents came to Manyata police station to ask. They were told nothing. When they went to Runyenjes, it is DCI Runyenjes who assisted them. He told them 2 bodies were corrected. They can go and check at Embu mortuary. We went there and true we found the bodies there.
Ngaruya, however, said an inquiry file has been opened. An investigation surrounding their death is ongoing.
Na wakaweza kuruka gari ikitembea, na kama tunavyojua kwamba gari ikitembea katika mwendo, hakika ukianguka either uumie ama upoteze maisha.
Elsewhere, detectives are investigating an incident where a 42-year-old man is alleged to have killed his wife before killing himself at their home in Kiambu County.
Na hata wakiwana na mkundi bado tumekuwa tu pamoja, hata iboma ikijengwa, we have been together with Jerry, na sisi tumeshtuka sana kusikia hiyo kifo, imetustua sana. Juu ni watu walikuwa wamependana sana na mapenzi yenye hata mtu hata angeamini ati itafika hapa.
According to police, Jonathan Mukundi Gashunga, who was a licensed firearm holder, is said to have shot his 30-year-old wife in the head before taking his own life using the same weapon.
The Madam Jerry was shot three times at the head. Yeah, and the man also shot himself at the head. They were all lying in their one bedroom.
The motive behind the incident could not be immediately established. And police in Nambale sub-county have launched investigations into the death of Kisoko Girls High School watchman who was allegedly murdered by armed robbers. Nambale OCBD Walter Abondo said that the 62-year-old was hacked to death by the robbers who managed to steal 1 computer.
Hawa waliua hiyo watchman watu ambao tutapata, but tuna request members of public watusaidie so that we make an arrest.
Police had an hectic time controlling a huge crowd that wanted to have a glimpse of the deceased.
Really unfortunate turn of events there. Now, away from that, on to how the COVID-19 situation is in the country. Kenya has recorded an increase of COVID-19 cases with a positivity rate of 17.5%. The country Wednesday recorded 1,335 positive cases out of a sample size of 7,605. Total confirmed positive cases now stand at 206,691, while cumulative tests so far are at 2,156,981. 30 patients have lost the battle to the disease, one of them in the last 24 hours, while 29 are late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits on diverse dates in July and August 2021. This now pushes the total cumulative fatalities to 4,025. Meanwhile, a total of 1,741,581 vaccines have so far been administered across the country. Now, still more news for you. The National Assembly Broadcasting and Library Committee has loaded Kenya Broadcasting Corporation for embracing the new and improved technology in its quest to stay afloat in the market. Speaking during their 3-day tour of the satellite transmission stations in the coastal region, the Board and National Assembly Committee commended the state broadcaster for their zeal to ensure that it maintains international standards.
The National Assembly Broadcasting and Library Committee made a tour of the satellite stations at the coast to assess the state's broadcasters' ability to serve the region. Speaking during the tour, the committee's chairperson, Justice Kizito, said the corporation has a state-of-the-art infrastructure that must be harnessed to boost its broadcast capabilities.
I want to call Kenyans, all Kenyans of goodwill. Let us pull together to also help KBC, to make sure that KBC can also get to that level of BBC, because we are seeing they're doing a good job. And the members are here. I think they also appreciate They have appreciated, and we are very grateful, and saying that going forward, we are proud that Kenya has at least network transmission. It can transmit, and we have seen even KBC, we have seen France International or Canal France channels and all this, and China and all this. So we are seeing that Kenya has this kind of facility, capacity to transmit across the nation.
The committee called on Kenyans to support the state broadcaster in its quest to give them quality programs. A committee member, Pound Zengu, said the parliament has partnered with the state broadcaster to enable Kenyans understand the operations of the August House.
There are 2 stations that we have visited. They have the modern. They have really modernized the transmission. So I believe that when the parliament partners with KBC on transmission of Bunge or parliament business, we are not going to be disappointed. We have witnessed that BBC and other international radio station and channels are using the infrastructure, and for that reason we believe that KBC is in the right direction. So we really appreciate the infrastructure is amazing.
Speaking on behalf of the board of directors of KBC, Charles Mulila, who is a board member, said the state broadcaster will continue to improve its brand as it endeavors to scale the heights of international standards.
Place some 10 brand new transmission stations that have been sponsored by the Spanish government under the APD1 program. We are in the process of looking for the same partnership to start up the APD2 that is going to cover the entire breadth and width of Kenya. Already now we've got 96% of Kenya covered in TV, and we have the capacity to give each county a local TV station from our ended equipment, which we installed sometimes last year. So we are very happy that you found time to come and to our facilities, and as you have seen, they are brand new. We are going places.
Reporting for Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I'm Michael Mondiga.
Of course, as a state broadcaster, we thank you for your support and for watching KBC Channel 1 and supporting our radio stations. We promise to give you nothing but the best in the days to come. On Extra Mile tonight, John Jacob Kioria, of course, is engaging Bernard Wandera, the director of Charlie's Children's Home. They are already on the other side of the studio to talk about supporting and educating the needy children in the society. It's over to you, Kioria, for that interview.
All right, thank you very much, Serfine. And in studio, like you rightly pointed out, we have Bernard Wandera from Cheryl's Children's Home, and we'll be talking to him about, acts of philanthropy and helping needy children. Bernard, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Probably you could start by telling us, when you talk about Cheryl's Children's Home, and when you talk about education, who do you have in the children's home, or who qualifies for support from you guys?
Cheryl's Children's Home is derived from cherish, meaning love.
Okay.
And we believe we are a center and a hub of love for orphaned and vulnerable children. We are located on Wanye Road in the Ruta Satellite, just near Dagoretti Corner.
Okay.
And the children we have are children who have passed through various kinds of inhuman acts. You find some of them are survivors of sodomy, survivors of rape, abandonment cases, and so forth. And so how we get them is through Children's Department. In case somebody rescues a child or they want to help a child, the case is reported at the Children's Department, and they are able to refer to various children's homes. So we happen to be among the children's home registered in Dagoretti, and we work with the Children's Department.
What age are we looking at? Because I hear you talk about children, getting them from the Children's Department. What age are we looking at? Because I mean, even anybody qualifying to join Form 1 is still a child.
So with the ages, we have we have children ranging from 4 to 17 years. However, we have some of the children who are maybe they started school a bit late, or maybe they were rescued, started school a bit late. We have to work with them until they complete Form 4s, and that's when we can transit them to either colleges and universities. And so in this case, we are looking at children ranging from, with us we work with children ranging from 4 to around 17 or 18. But we have other children's homes that we also partner with across the country, even in Nairobi here, that also deal with the newborns. And so mostly the children in the children homes, they start from newborns up to around 17 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen to you say cases of, abuse, sodomy. So it's not purely just about being an orphanage. You also rescue children in distress.
Yes, we have various programs and also looking at the children. There is just like a children home is a hub, is a place where now children who have passed through various kinds of difficulties or abuse, they want to get love. And so these are children that come from various places, but of course pass through the children's department. And when they are coming there knowing that they are going to find people who can help them, people that can be able to educate them, and a place where they can feel that they are at home. So at Cheryl's, that's what we do. We have a couple of staff members that are helping in different areas. And apart from that, we have also, apart from the children who are staying in the home, we have also other children who come from the community. We have 2 social workers who go to the community, and we work with the community around in case we have a child who is passing through difficulties. The social workers are able to go and assess the situation through the program we call the foster care. Some of them are having parents, some of them are having guardians, but they are vulnerable.
So you're still extending a hand to the local community?
Yes, but with that group, that kind of category, they stay in the community with their parents and guardians. But for those that stay in the institution, those are purely that we have received from the children's department.
You talk about institution. Help me understand. Because there are children homes where you see this is purely a children's home, but we send children to schools around here. Do you have a school inside the children's home, or you send children to schools around there?
Yeah, we have a school, and the genesis how our school started. Initially, we used to be just in Dagoretti corner, next to showground, and it was a railway reserve area. Unfortunately, we were evicted, but our children used to go to various schools because they are small and walking was a bit difficult. In the nearest schools, we had Jamhuri, either they are going to Kawangware or Iruta Satellite. And small children of 4 years walking all the way that distance, it was a bit difficult. So that's how we thought it will be wise for us to have the programs coordinated at our campus. And that's how we started our school. So we have a primary school, which is also a national examination center. Our children are able to do their exams from there. But when they graduate from that level, we take them to high schools across the country. And even like this week, we have had 15 students from our orphanage whom we've been taking to high schools across the country. So it has been a tedious exercise.
All right.
Yes.
So what grade do you have inside the children's home? Because there are several grades.
We have we have a primary school starting from pre-primary 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the kindergarten section, pre-primary 1 and pre-primary 2, and also grade 1 up to class 8. And so when they graduate from there, that's when we take them to other high schools now across the country, because we don't have a high school. And this is now a bit costly, as you know, the high school, as much as the government is supporting with a certain percentage, but it's still a bit expensive.
Particularly in boarding schools.
Yeah, in boarding schools. And now we have to reach out to individuals. We have to reach out to well-wishers to support us, sponsor at least an individual children, work with them through.
It's good you usher me to my next question.
Yeah.
Who sponsors you?
These are well-wishers, people like friends. They refer guys, they come and support children. But our main way of supporting these children, we have a program called child sponsorship. In child sponsorship, we reach out to individual people to come and support and work with one child from one level to another. And so you can come support one child from either primary to high school. So when you are supporting, you cater for this child's education, that's school fees, requirements at the school, and all the stationaries that they need. And so we are able to consolidate these funds at the end of the month and support. There are some, even the corporates that come on board, they support 1 or 2 children, and that keeps us going. Apart from that, we have also some partners from US that have also been supporting a number of children, and which has been so helpful, mostly in keeping the organization going. But still, there is a big need, because if a child does not get a sponsor, and it becomes a bit hard, because taking them to high school and looking at the cost implications, for example, you'll find maybe school fees, the average is 20,000 for term 1, but when the child is getting to form 1, you'll find even the budget is going to around 50,000. So in total, that's around 70,000 per child, and you have 15, and maybe you've not gotten somebody to sponsor this child, so it becomes a bit hard. Sometimes we end up taking them to day schools around.
Quite interesting, because that confirms their children who will come to institution and they will not get sponsorship, probably from this program of, sponsor a child. When they're transiting and they don't have a sponsor, who caters for the cost?
Usually, if we have a child who is coming from community, we talk to the guardians around and see whether they can try to chip in and help. But in most cases, it fails. And you find most of these children just dropping out of school. But for those that are staying in the children home, we try as much as we can, even if just to take them for a vocational training and look at some of the partners that are visiting us at the children home. Some of them are having companies, and they try, we talk to them, they try at least to employ them in different areas. So we leave them at that point where they are a bit independent. But at least it has been, for those that are staying at the home, it has been good. We are having people that are coming on board, but is also still a big challenge, and we are appealing to guys everywhere to join us in this initiative to just help children. Most of these children are voiceless, and they want people to speak on their behalf and to speak about the challenges they are facing, so that we can move them from one level to another.
In terms of what you would say the calendar and syllabus, because we've had schools with noble ideas like yours, and sometimes you've had them, you've seen some schools have conflicts with teachers unions about the syllabus and about their calendar. Does your system follow the normal Kenyan calendar issued by the Ministry of Education, and is the syllabus the same as ours?
It's the same syllabus, and you realize in children home we extend a bit, because you've gotten these children who have passed through various kinds of abuse. So apart from just putting them in class, there are a lot of things that we do, like psychosocial support. But we have so we have social workers. We also have we have partners just across the country. Even universities bring their psychology students to help us in children therapy. And so what we do is bring in, like, for them to have that holistic manner, we have to bring in people in different ways. But it's just a normal school doing the 844. And now that we have also new curriculum, we are also doing the CBC, and we registered our school even with the Ministry of Education. So it's just this normal, but because of the nature of the children we receive, we extend a bit with a lot of psychosocial, so that when they are sitting in class, at least they are a bit relaxed, because they have a lot of things going on.
Operating in an informal settlement, how would you rate the access to education for a child who, is living in slums, or what you would call informal settlements, and again also to people who are disadvantaged in that to that extent?
Is a bit challenging, because for example, during when the COVID pandemic hit the country, we find mostly the well-off parents afforded to enroll their students or children for online learning. But you find in this kind of setup, there is no internet, there are no computers. Even if you say you want to go to the library, there is no space for library, there are no books, and is a bit challenging. But so what we do in our case, we have a small space that we have created, and we have books there. And so what we do is we encourage children to come and borrow books, and they just read even from the dormitories. We have also did a fundraiser. We got some laptops and some tablets, and they are able to start their classes. But looking at around the locality, children have passed through a lot of difficulties, because looking at even the performance and these other children, like they have everything, and children from informal settlements, they're having a lot of difficulties. So I think the government needs to come and onboard and help this kind of institutions, so that we also be able to support children the way others have.
As we wind up, because I'm constrained of time, I'm imagining the number of people who didn't, or the number of children who didn't make it to Form 1 yesterday and Monday, because that's when the formal admission process began. Probably because they have challenges in so many ways. They are orphans, or because their parents are not even able to take care of the needs in the secondary schools. If they approach you, can you help?
Yeah, we can, but the biggest challenge we have is that we are also still looking for support.
Okay.
And we have a primary school. For those that, because we have a primary school, we are able to help children who are in primary school.
Okay.
But when they go to high school, is a big challenge, because now we have to pay fees in different schools. So the best way will be people, Kenyans of goodwill, to come on board to support us. We need stationery. When children are in school, they need food. And these other ones that after graduation from this level to high schools across the country, they need people to work with them. They can easily impact the life of these children by just uplifting one child and supporting.
All right. Cheryl's Children's Home in Rirota, even if anybody needs to help you, they can come there physically, right?
Yes.
You have an email where they can contact you?
Yeah, we have an email. They can contact us on benwande@gmail.com.
benwande@gmail.com.
Yeah, benwand@gmail.com. They can also find us on Facebook at Cheryl's Children's Home. And or even reach out to me at Bernard Wandera, also on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yes.
That is, anybody who wants to lend support to children, Cheryl's, or would want to sponsor a child, you can benwande@gmail.com.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much even for having us.
Yes.
And God bless you and everyone. Just requesting everyone to team up with us and make an impact in a child's life.
And God bless you too for the good job you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's where we end the Extra Mile. We have more news lined up for you. Don't go too far.
Nisaidie na simu kakangu, niwapigie watu wangu waje wanisaidie.
Kwani umesahau kwamba mimi huwa najua kila mahali ulipo? Muda, saa, wakati, sekunde, dakika, kila kitu.
Ajabu, maana wewe huku kwetu ufiki kabisa.
Na mzigo tu hapa nataka umpelekee Maya. Acha roho chafu hiyo.
Kamringe huyo rafiki yako mkeo mwenzio uko ndani Zari. Hata sijui anakuja fuata nini. Zari anakuja. Hata akifanya anakuja kumwona Maya. Si mvituko hivyo.
This is where it all began. As the mother of broadcasting in Kenya, you can trust KBC to bring you authentic news and programs to your living room. As KBC, we take pride in our unrivaled heritage as Kenya's trusted national broadcaster. Commanding over 92% digital television signal coverage of our country, 23 radio services that cut across our entire language spectrum, a national, regional and international digital presence backed by the most experienced and top-notch broadcast professionals in the industry.
A very good evening to you.
The new look Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is truly ahead of the pack. Turn to the mother of broadcasting in Kenya for stories that resonate with our identity, our aspirations as a people united in purpose. Real stories of hard work, of passion, of creativity, of big dreams. Stories that cement our nationhood. Stories that bring us together as one. We take pride in our shared heritage and destiny. KBC. Informing, educating and entertaining Kenyans as one nation. KBC. Kenya's listening. Kenya's watching.
It's now time for us to focus on the business news. I'm standing in for Cynthia Nyamai tonight. Now, the government's plan to build the capacity of the youth in deep-sea fishing commenced Wednesday with a promise to train 1,000 Kenyans annually over the next 5 years. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya, who flagged off a crew of 40 trainees aboard 2 vessels at Liwatoni Fishing Complex in Mombasa County, said 400 Kenyans will be trained by the end of this year. Here's our coast-based reporter, Ann Buru, with details.
June this year, President Uhuru Kenyatta unveiled a 10 billion shillings Kenya Marine Fisheries Socio-Economic Development Project aimed at uplifting income of fishing communities along the Kenyan coast. It is on the backdrop of this initiative that Wednesday, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya was at Liwatoni Fishing Complex to flag off the first group of deep-sea fishing trainees.
Nao wameenda wakamaliza kule Bandari College training. Sasa wanaenda kwa deep sea for practical skills na mambo ya safety na security huko, waelewe vizuri hiyo kazi ndio waweze kupata ajira kwa vyombo ambavyo viko hapa vinafanya fishing katika our waters.
They are among the first 400 to be trained this year as the government rolled out the 5-year program seeking to build capacity of 1,000 Kenyans annually with the hope of creating at least 60,000 jobs.
Tumeweka hii efforts kwa vijana kutoka county za Pwani specifically. Hawa wote wako hapa, unaona wanaenda training ni watu kutoka county za Pwani ya Kenya. Na lengo ni kila mwaka to train vijana 1,000. In the next 5 years tuwe na a trained pool of young people.
Munya said the tender for the construction of the fishing landing site at the Liwatoni Fishing Complex has been re-advertised after the government cancelled the first contract.
Construction ya fish landing site munaona already inaendelea huko. Kulikuwa na changamoto na moja ambayo inamaliziwa sasa. In fact, I'm told the opening of the tenders, because there was a re-tendering done. The opening of tenders is today, so that we can now pick the person who will do the installation. Largely is the installation of the machines, because the physical infrastructure has been going on.
For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I am Ann Buru.
Thank you, Anne, for that report. Now, advertisement of alcoholic drinks on radio and television during prime time and watershed hours might be a thing of the past if the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill of 2020 is enacted into law in its current form. The Sylvanus Osoro-sponsored bill that seeks to regulate advertising hours for alcoholic beverages sailed through to the second reading in the National Assembly.
A survey conducted by consultancy firm PricewaterhouseCoopers, dubbed Altering the Dynamics in Entertainment and Media Industry, estimate that Kenya's potential annual revenues in the entertainment and media industry will be over 900 billion shillings by 2025.
Prime time, they bring the entire family, they display the entire family. The father seated there with alcohol, the mother seated there with alcohol, and they bring a person that is appearing like a teenager seated in a certain corner with a drink that appears like it's alcohol. That is how they do advertisements lately, which is again impacting the young families wrong. That is why you find several young people are not able to invest. They're not able to focus in their lives because, they find it like it's, for you to live a normal life as a young man, you've got to enjoy yourself by drinking yourself silly and sitting somewhere. And it's the mess.
As such, the Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill 2020 that seeks to regulate advertising hours for alcoholic beverages weighs heavy on alcoholic drinks manufacturers and media owners.
When such advertisement appear, Mr. Speaker, you feel embarrassed. And us, Mr. Speaker, particularly from Western Kenya, we don't shake hands with our mother-in-laws, Mr. Speaker. And sometimes when you are sharing with your mother-in-law in the sitting room, she's there seated with you and the young one, the grand ones, children. And Mr. Speaker, these advertisements appear on television. It embarrasses you, Mr. Speaker, one even to run to the bedroom.
So I call upon everyone here to support this bill and let it be put in action so that poverty reduction will be reduced, because the men and the women will save money which they use in alcohol drinking, so that our children can go to school.
During Wednesday's debate, legislators argued that surrogate advertisements were misleading and detrimental to a majority of youth who were getting induced into alcoholism. Legislators want adverts of alcoholic drinks to be accompanied by health hazard warnings, as in the case with tobacco products.
Mr. Speaker, when we are talking of this bill, Mr. Speaker, it will bring sanity, it will bring good order, and sometimes, Mr. Speaker, as you one of just put up here, when you associate good things like football, when you associate good things like athletics, Mr. Speaker, with this kind of drinking, Mr. Speaker, it percolates into even that if you drink heavily is when you become a good footballer.
Since its introduction, alcoholic drinks manufacturers and media owners have voiced their opposition, terming the bill as unnecessary since existing regulations shield minors and other vulnerable groups from exposure.
Audit of this law. Has anyone been taken to court for advertising in a manner that is offensive to Section 45? And to the best of my recollection, even from my practice, nobody has been taken to court because of this.
The Alcoholic Drinks Control Amendment Bill 2020 is now at the committee stage of the whole House for amendments. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
Moving on, private sector activity slowed in July as surveyed businesses reported weak expansions in output, new orders, employment and purchasing. According to the latest Stanbic Purchasing Managers Index, business activity fell for a second straight month, posting a reading of 50.6 in July after a reading of 51.0 in June. The report says cost inflationary pressures hit a 16-month high in July as tax changes sharply pushed purchase prices. Betty Kiptum with that report.
The three biggest components of the Purchasing Managers Index, namely output, new orders and employment indices, all fell to 3-month lows in July but remained above the 50.0 no change mark to indicate further expansions. Currency strategist at Stanbic Bank Kioria said domestic demand improved by the second slowest pace since the lifting of the public health restrictions after the first wave of the pandemic, with some firms reporting a drop in customer numbers. The report shows businesses in agriculture, construction and services witnessed an increase in demand and output, while those in manufacturing and trade saw declines. Firms increased their output slightly, as evidenced by slight surges in staffing levels and the quantity of purchases. With sales growth slowing, the rate of job creation among Kenyan firms eased to the softest in 3 months. Both input and output price inflation accelerated due to an increase in import taxes, fuel costs and shortages in some raw materials. The 12-month outlook by firms rose to its highest level in 5 months, but remained below its long-term average. Despite the grim picture, business optimism improved to 5-month high, signaling increased confidence among Kenyan firms that activity would grow over the coming 12 months. Nearly 1/3 of respondents provided a positive response, while less than 1% of firms being pessimistic. Betty Kiptum, Prime Edition.
Now tonight, there is a change of guard at the Kenya Power and Lighting Company following the appointment of engineer Rosemary Oduor as the acting managing director. This follows the resignation of Bernard Ngugi, who took over leadership of the utility firm in 2019. Details of this and other stories from the corporate scene.
The resignation of Bernard Ngugi as Kenya Power Managing Director barely 2 years into his tenure has seen the company appoint engineer Rosemary Oduor to take over leadership in an acting capacity. Engineer Rosemary joins a short list of 7 female CEOs leading listed companies comprising Kengen, Diamond Trust Bank, EABL, Limuru Tea, BOC Kenya and Everready. Engineer Rosemary is the 4th managing director at Kenya Power in as many years. Others who have served in that position since 2018, either in an acting capacity or substantive capacity, are Kenta Roos, Jared Othieno, and Bernard Ngoge. She takes over at a time when the utility firm is implementing measures to reduce cases of illegal power connections. And low-cost carrier Jambo Jet plans to begin operations to Lamu and Goma in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo as part of its expansion program. The airline says the inaugural flight to Goma will be on the 10th of next month, starting with 2 frequencies weekly that would be doubled to 4 frequencies weekly. Mid next month, the carrier plans to start flights to Lamu, offering travelers 4 frequencies weekly. Finally, farmers in Kisii have welcomed the tea subsector reforms, noting that they have helped push up green leaf prices.
Pesa iongeze kutoka shilingi 17 kwa kilo iende shilingi 20 kwa kilo kuanzia mwezi huu wa 7 tarehe 1. Na nyakati tutapata hizi pesa zitatusaidia watoto wetu kwenda shule, kulipa school fees na mahitaji mengine ya kinyumbani.
During a meeting, the directors from 6 tea factories, farmers welcomed the government's decision to set the minimum price at the Mombasa tea auction. Regina Manyara reporting for the Prime Edition.
To get Change Your Thinking skiza tune, dial star 811 star 961 hash.
When you change the quality of your thinking, you change the quality of your life. Sometimes instantly, just as positive words can make someone calm, smile or laugh, your thoughts will react to the world in real time. So, change the quality of your thinking.
Dial star 811 star 961 hash. Star 811 star 961 hash.
The global spending on research and development reached an all-time high of $1.7 trillion in the year 2020. And 10 countries account for 80% of this budget. And Kenya is not a member of this elite club.
We are training our people, we are guiding our people so that they don't only depend on buying what is coming from abroad, but developing their own and also competing with the giants that are, and they'll reach there.
This week on Inside Government, our focus is on R&D, the hit and the misses, and of course, the lessons learned. Right here on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome to sports. Now, the Great Africa Cycling Safari was flagged off in Dar es Salaam earlier this week. The 56 or 55-day ride across the 5 East African community capitals will have the Kenyan leg from the 5th to the 17th of this month.
90 riders from more than 12 countries across the world left Dar es Salaam for a 55-day odyssey that will see them make stops in Nairobi, Kampala, Kigali, Bujumbura, Dodoma before finishing their journey in Arusha as they push their campaign for the long-term unity of the East African community.
As we begin the safari today, I have confidence in our cyclists as well as our partners. I am certain that you will keep moving forward regardless of the challenges and the lethargy that may be tempting you to pull out.
Among the riders will be 6 Kenyans who will be participating in the East African Tour for a 4th time. The Kenyan leg of the tour will start on the 5th of August when the riders enter Kenya via Lunga Lunga in Kwale County and exit Kenya at the Malaba Ward on the 17th of August. Meanwhile, there will be no fans at the Under-20 World Championships to be held at the Kasarani Stadium from the 17th of this month. Kenya will be hosting the 18th edition under closed doors due to the resumption of sport protocols, and only athletes, officials, technical teams and the local organizing committee members will be allowed into the stadium during the event, which will end on the 22nd of this month. For Prime Edition Sport, I am Daniel Wahome.
And Gor Mahia, winners of the season's Football Kenya Federation FKF Cup, have finally received their winning prize money from FKF. The club's Secretary General Samu Chola, while receiving the 2 million shillings, said that the club will honour all remaining league fixtures.
We have another 5 league games that are left, and this money will also go to preparing for the 5 games that are left. So I'd like to just say thank you very much. We hope that the little bad blood that has been there between us and your office, we can bury the hatchet and we move forward.
The money FC had not gotten back to us, so we'll just check. I'm informed we've just received an email from them giving us a bank account, but of course, as you know, due to what happened, the FC Leopard and Gor Mahia chairmen are suspended. So first is to ensure that who are the signatories of these accounts that we've been given by AFC. If it contains the right people, then for sure we'll transfer money.
That's how we wrap it up on Prime Edition tonight. Amos Abwire watching from Kayole in Nairobi County. Thank you. Joyrine Lusaka from Uasin Gishu County. Thank you for watching tonight.
All right, that's how we put a cap on Prime Edition up until Sunday. Of course, tomorrow you have the team of Cynthia Nyamai taking charge because it's Business Insight. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a fantastic night ahead.
My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma. Our sign language interpreter has been Glenn Saudingo. Have a good night.